Welcome to BlackUSA.news morning show. I'm your host, William Honolulu Jr. Join us as we explore the news and opinions that impact our community. We break down how the major stories have a very personal, local, and racial impact. No topic is off limits, but even if the conversation gets rough, we're always going to keep it real.
Greetings and salutations, all my friends out there in internet land. I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the host of the Black USA News Morning Show. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the show. It means a lot, and you are going to be benefited. Oh, we're going to be friends with benefit or viewers with benefits? Something. Y'all gonna be benefited. I know that. Because today, guess who I got here? Y'all don't. I told y'all no dope people. I always tell you, it's not like y'all ain't seen her before. Y'all know who she is. This is Lyndsae Peele. Oh yeah, she's gonna talk to you about her business, Kingdom Vision Ministries, and a lot of the work and events that she has going on. And okay, I heard from a little birdie that she might be dropping some stuff today. It'll be crazy. We be first release type stuff. But again, that's what we do here, right? All right, so let's go ahead and tell you a little bit, because I got to get through the stuff I got to get through, because they're gonna yell at me if I don't. It's so annoying. Oh, they forget that I'm having fun. They want me to go and talk about stuff, but I'm happy when I get to talk about stuff like Breakcoin. Breakcoin is an organization that takes your donations and puts the value toward the bread coins that they mint. They mint these coins themselves. They have total control over its inventory. Those coins are distributed among an existing network of individuals who already work with the community, who already know who the people are who are in need of help and services and assistance. And what they do is they give these people the coins, and they can go to the participating restaurants and caterers, and they can get their food, and nobody knows why. A lot of times we require people to look homeless enough or to seem like they are in need before we feel the need to help them. That is not the way that it should be. And I am really grateful that we get to partner with an organization that allows people, and she not just allows them, but really wants them to maintain their dignity as they are navigating through spaces. As you all know, Maryland is having an election this November. The primaries are over. The candidates have been chosen. And what Black USA News has done is that we've curated not all of it, most of our interviews with candidates, our political commentary and things like that. And we've placed it in one location. So please make sure that you check us out so you can get a sense of who's out there, what they're doing, and maybe even find a new candidate. Ta-da! Last but absolutely not least, Darker Than Blue Grill. Darker Than Blue Grill, they have amazing food. They're located at 413 North Charles Street, and it's not just about the food. Like, the food is amazing, like, don't get it twisted, but they're an organization that really cares about the Black community. It is nothing to see them catering a community event, and I'm not, they work with budgets. And it also isn't unusual to see them hosting events for community-based organizations or community members, just because they understand the need to support the community, because the community supports them. So make sure you stop by Darker Than Blue if you get an opportunity to you want to get some food, and you want to get some good food, and know that you're supporting those that support us. Yeah, Darker Than Blue Grill. You can't even get better than that. All right. Okay, I think that's everything I'm supposed to do. I'm looking. That's everything I'm supposed to do. Oh, y'all know what this means. Do you know what this means? Now I get to bring to the stage Lyndsae Peele. Hey, there she goes. Hey, Lyndsae, how you doing?
Hello. I am well. Thank you so much again for having me. You are absolutely one of my favorite people.
Oh, you are one of mine as well. I've been excited about getting a chance to talk to you. But before we get started too deep into everything, there is an active and ongoing assault against Black women. And one of the ways that this assault against Black women plays itself out in many cases is the criticism and the lack of understanding and appreciation of Black women's hair. So, to that point, Jesus, look at the dude right there. Oh, you know what? I ain't even see the back of the sides. Look at you, just embracing the motherland, calling upon the ancestors.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? This year will be my 10-year lock anniversary. So I am
Oh, that
super
is so
excited.
wonderful.
Thank you. It's definitely been a journey,
That
but
is
I'm
so
I'm
cool.
here for it. They have grown with me. My crown has truly become a real part of me and who I am, but also what I represent. So I
Mm.
am. Thank you for that recognition. The
Oh,
small things
absolutely.
make such a big difference.
Uh, because again, and we talk about it here. I do not pretend that there is not like an active assault against
Yeah,
Black women happening right now, and that's why I get so excited, especially bringing sisters like you who are
yeah,
actually doing a damn thing, not just like talking about doing a damn thing or saying who should be out there doing a damn thing, but really coming to the table,
thank
and
you.
talking the walk and not just talking the walk. Jesus. You got me all excited. I'm messing up my cliches.
It's all
Not
right.
just
It's all
talk the talk,
right.
but you walk the walk. You put in work,
Thank you.
and I have seen it. And
Thank
so
you.
I am so excited anytime I get to introduce and share you. Not too much with the people out there, because like this, I still need my parts. I don't need you just to be out there giving it all up. You ever notice that? But that's what way a lot of people are. They meet you when you on some good stuff. They're like, oh, and then
Yep.
it's like, don't give nobody else that though. That's mine. It's
That's
okay.
fine. That's fine. That's easier.
So
I
I
got you. I
understand the
got you.
hypocrisy, but I'm gonna put it out there. I got the
Yeah.
double standard, and I'm with it. Okay, so let's just but y'all can borrow some Lyndsae, and it's Lyndsae, by the way, just making sure y'all understand.
That's
All right,
right.
so I don't just continue to objectively fawn all over you. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to tell the people who you are and what you do, because they already know. I think you're awesome, but tell them how awesome you are.
Listen, your introduction was already more than enough. I'm going to have to take you on the road. You're going to have to do it just like that every single time. But no, hello everyone. My name is Lyndsae Peele. I am the founder and principal consultant at Kingdom Vision Consulting. We are a financial services firm that specializes in holistic CEO planning for entrepreneurs of color. We do that by focusing on 5 key areas of finances known as class: credit worthiness, long term wealth, asset protection, strategic banking relationships, and strategic asset accumulation. I wear a bunch of other hats as well. I'm the host of the Real Deal Radio Show, where we provide resources, empathy, accountability, and literacy to improve the overall wealth journey of the Black entrepreneur. I'm the director of community engagement for area development partners. I happen to serve as the vice president for the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board of advisory members for the Women Entrepreneur Leadership Lab. So, as Will said, literally my hands are in all of the things, but all of the things that support Black and Brown people in business.
Mm, I told y'all. Like I tell them I know dope people, and I think they be like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure you do," but they don't even understand like the level of dopeness. They're like, "Oh, they because." All right, so let's. I get too worked up. I get too excited. You're gonna end up giving me a bunch of show notes later. They're gonna be like, "You need to calm down." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna calm down. She's awesome. Damn it." All
Tell
right,
them I
so
said you don't have to calm down for me.
and it's on tape. So now, so you I know that you do a
Yeah,
lot of work with entrepreneurs, and we talked in
yeah,
some of the previous episodes, and you all need to go back and catch those if you haven't. But we talked about how like your journey through seeing from the banking and the financial services
yeah,
perspective the gaps that many entrepreneurs, particularly entrepreneurs of color, had when they were coming to the table.
yes,
Looking at application for credit from a white vendor, white
yep,
client versus a Black client. The reality is that there sometimes were things that were missing. Not that they didn't exist, it's just that they didn't have the information that will bring those to the
that's
table.
right,
So,
that's
so
right,
talk a
that's
little
right.
bit about what your experience, how, I want to refresh people for those
Yeah.
who don't really remember that much. And for those who are new, refresh them about what you saw, like, and how that shaped your journey and even creating Kingdom Vision Consultants.
Absolutely. So let's start back from when I first began in the banking industry. I started as a part time teller while I was a student at Howard University. So behind that teller line, I got to see the real deal behind everyone's finances when you're coming to make deposits, make withdrawals. Yes, on the consumer side, but also those business owners. And what I noticed was that a lot of time businesses on paper or on social media appear to be doing amazing, have all the followers, the likes, etc. But when you look at their bank accounts, it didn't necessarily reflect that. When you
Mm-hmm.
even look at their personal financial relationships,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't necessarily reflect that. So that became intriguing to me. And a part of banking that I absolutely love was providing financial education. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a program called At Work at most banking institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Wells had it, BB&T had it at work where they actually go out and educate entrepreneurs and their employees on just financial wellness. So I started to do that because I noticed that most clients who look like me, like you said, just didn't have access to the information. It's not that they didn't want to do better. It's not that they didn't have the capacity to. They just didn't have the information, the know how.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most important piece. So, along my journey within the banking industry, from a teller to a personal banker, and then advancing to becoming a business banker, and then later on a manager, I got to see even more, right? I got to have
Mm-hmm.
more intentional conversations. And I started to actually submit those applications where I'm also having conversations with underwriters now, right,
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
how they are making decisions for our loans. And what I saw was that of course, we as a people are already starting backwards, right? We're starting from behind the starting point. And that's not at any fault of our own. But
Mm-hmm.
the banks sometimes do not always provide that empathy that we need for them to
Mm-hmm.
truly understand us. I remember particularly, I was working with a client on a loan that had originally been declined, and we were trying to get that decision overturned.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having a conversation with the underwriter, and the specific issue was, I believe, a foreclosure on a property back in like 2008, of course, when everything had crashed.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
And there was a short sale, and the thing is that their lender at the time had encouraged them to do the short sale, like they had to miss payments in order to qualify for certain things. And when I was having this conversation with the underwriter, he said, that seems a little self-inflicted, doesn't it? And it was just his yes, his response, his reaction, it was just unwarranted to me, but it also shows a lack of empathy, a lack of understanding. Of course, the underwriter was white and my client was Black.
Mm-hmm.
And then I, as a Black woman advocating on behalf of this Black business owner, of course, we saw our challenges, but in the industry, I learned that you cannot back down, right? But that's also the importance of having strategic banking relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my clients all the time, you have to not just have an institution that you're making deposits and withdrawals, but you actually have to have a person on the inside who can advocate for you, who can get to know your business, understand your challenges, understand your triumphs as well, right? To get to know the full story so that they can become a sponsor for you. And
Mm-hmm.
because the client had done that with me, we built that relationship. I got to know her. I got to know the husband, the family dynamic. I got to understand the financial story, what they had also gone through to cause some of those things on their credit report. So much so where I was willing to put my neck on the line for this client. Long story short, on the other end, we were able to get multiple decisions overturned, right? While I was
Mm-hmm.
at the banking institution. And even once I transitioned, the client had another issue with the bank, another declined product, and I was able to make a phone call to my contacts for them to rework some things in the application, and boom, we had approval. But that came from understanding how the underwriters work. You have to understand the game so that you can play the game very intentionally, very strategically.
Mm-hmm.
But we are automatically starting from behind, and if we don't catch up just by having the right people in our corner, that financial dream team, a lot of times we will never really know how to move forward.
You are absolutely right on that. One of the things that we talk about here often is making sure you understand why the bank is in business. The bank doesn't give a fuck about you. They're not in here for you. The bank is a soulless institution, and again, like all soulless institutions, it doesn't actually exist. The people in the bank are the ones that make the decisions, and so that's why having that personal relationship. The investors at the top of the bank, they want profit. They don't care how. Most of the time, they don't even care how you get it, so long as it don't cause no drama. They want profit. And the only place you could get profit is by either paying your employees low or charging your customers high. And most of the time, they do both. So that is what they are after. They're not your friends. They are not there to help you. And if they are your friends, they're your commercial friends. And understanding the difference between commercial and personal friends. That's why I know you do a lot of work with CDFIs and some of these nonprofit organizations, because they don't have that same profit motive. So, you talked about making sure that people had good information and understanding. Let's talk about the financial decision making, because I mean, I want to make sure we circle back around and talk about all that magic you got going on in the background. But I think that this is part to your educational mission. This is part of that journey. So talk a little bit about how this actually works in real life for people.
Yeah, so in real life, one, I always say that you need a dream team so that you have people who are working with you to gather your documents. So let's just think about just that business owner who's looking to access capital. Your average business owner don't know what they need before they have the conversation with the banker.
And they they should not already know. This is the first time they've been in business. It's our job to teach them.
Correct. Prior to that. So a lot of times we're just going into these institutions saying, hey, I need XYZ, and we're letting them run these applications without understanding the full story. But what I tell clients to do is, before you even have a conversation with a lender, you want to have a conversation with your accountant, because you want to know your numbers. You want to walk into that conversation fully prepared, understanding what your numbers are, understanding what your profit margins are, understanding what was your bottom line in taxes last year. Most people don't even know that preliminary information, because also most people don't have an accountant. They have somebody who might be filing their taxes, but they don't have anybody doing their bookkeeping on the regular. They don't have anybody having intentional growth planning conversations with them where they're able to talk about projections, etc. So even before you apply, have your accountant review your documents with you, understand what your numbers are and what they mean, what they indicate for your business. Because guess what? The underwriter they're going to look at those numbers. They're going to ask you for your last 2 to 3 years worth of tax returns. Sometimes they're going to ask you for bank statements. Sometimes they're going to ask you for projections. Sometimes they may even ask you for a business plan, just depending on the length of time that you've been in business and the amount of money that you are applying for. But then also too, as a business owner, you also want to go in there understanding your personal history, right? Your personal finances. I like to tell my clients all the time, you want to have a personal financial statement, a PFS already completed. Not necessarily that you shove it in their face, but you want to have it completed so that you can have a conversation about it. And the PFS, all it does is it lists all of your assets, all of your liabilities, and ultimately it gives you your net worth. What is that bottom line number that you are worth technically, right? And a big part of that is because in some cases, if you don't qualify for unsecured lending, you may potentially be able to qualify for secured lending. And of course, when it comes to secured lending, they want to know what assets do you have that we can even use to secure XYZ loan, right? Those are also just some of the basics. But you want to also know and understand how much money do you even have left over in your cash flow to pay back on any type of capital that you may borrow. Sometimes it's the small things that we are afraid to ask, we are afraid to discuss just because of our own financial traumas, because of, the trust issues that we have. And it's okay, right? But it's also about, we have to combat that, right? We have to essentially get through that so that we can help ourselves get to the other side and grow and sustain a profitable business.
Absolutely. Look at you. So y'all see what I was talking about here. Y'all see what I was talking about. She came in here and just blessed y'all with a whole bunch of knowledge. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out here real quick. This is how you make sure you stay up in touch with Lyndsae.
You're a little premature with that. That's an announcement, but I wanted to put it in there. Yeah, thank you. I got you.
My bad. Oh my God!
That'll
You know
come
what?
later.
I get excited. This is a whole new set of show notes here. Okay, all right, never mind, never mind. I'm good. I'm good. I gotta take your lead a little bit better than I had before. I just get
It's all
excited
right.
because,
It's
like,
okay.
again, I see you doing the work. I have talked to people, work with people that you work with, and just see how, like, you really do take time to educate
Yeah,
them. Like, you
yeah,
make sure that it's not just give me these forms, fill out this number. It is you. This is how
correct.
this is what this means.
Correct. I am going to add my information in the chat box. Not what I just put. These are things in there so that I don't forget when it comes
I'm
time.
gonna wait for you to tell me what to put where. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna relax my push buttons and do that. So yeah, we can
No,
roll.
it's all good. I appreciate it because they do need to know. They do need to know that one, you have an advocate and a partner in me, but also two, you have a strategic banking consultant in me. That is my contact information, Will, that I
Okay.
just put in the chat that you can put up there.
Yeah, I'll put that up.
But a big part of what I do is educating my clients so that after you work with me, you still know how to move forward in business. You know how to create strategic financial relationships. You know how to talk to a banking institution. You know how to properly apply for capital. You know how to properly manage that capital once you get it, right? But you have to learn these things. And it's okay that you don't know, but you also have to be able to identify what you don't know and go seek the information, go seek the people who do have what you need.
Absolutely, because and again, I just want to make sure
Yeah,
that people understand, because I've told you this before. The way that they traditionally teach business is bullshit,
yeah,
because they act like there's a right answer. It's like, okay, I give you this case study, which by the way is made up in the first place.
yeah,
You give me a set of answers, which again is made up in the second
yeah,
place, and then I tell you that it's right or wrong based on the made up answers I have in my head that I
yeah.
expected to see. The thing
Mhm.
about, and again, one of the things I appreciate that you do is that you don't try to treat people like they are two different beings when it comes to business.
That's right.
And I appreciate the fact that you've been able to explain, weave that
Yeah,
explanation in to the conversations about being a business owner. It's not
yeah,
like, if you have a bad day in the morning, it doesn't, you don't, as soon as you walk into the office, it's not like, yes, I have no problems at home and everything. And so
that's right.
now I'm just,
That's
it
right.
is all still part of you. How
That's
do
right.
you, like, what kind of advice do you give to people who have had financial trauma, who have had these types of, like, and always the bill collectors and people always, yeah, every time you pull my credit, there's something, that kind of tension, that type of anxiety. Like, I have known a lot of business owners who could have blown up, but
Yeah.
because they did not resolve some of those things, it kept holding them down. So how do you even, in your professional, very learned opinion, how do you advise people to try to navigate through those spaces?
So the thing is that you have to address it. A big part of our issue is that we like sweeping things under the rug. We
Mm-hmm,
prefer to not discuss our issues, not to discuss our traumas, because it's trauma. It's financial trauma, and it comes from somewhere, right?
mm-hmm,
Really, it comes from multiple places. But
mm-hmm,
what I encourage clients to do is to really be able to self-assess and to really conduct what I call a self-reflection, to
mm-hmm,
think about your childhood, to think about what you saw growing up. Were your parents always dodging bill collectors? Did you see a ton of eviction notices? Did you
mm-hmm,
see your parents always cash poor? Did you see them maxing out credit cards?
mm-hmm,
What did you see? What did you grow up around? What did your environment around you foster, right? Because those things, though that being, that state of being, it plays in our mental and we carry that with us, and that helps a lot of people develop a scarcity mindset, right?
mm-hmm,
They're so used to not having, they're so used to not being able to achieve X, they're so used to seeing their family struggle that it's ingrained in them at this point. You
mm-hmm,
have to identify it, talk about it. Don't just try to skip over it. You actually have to go
mm-hmm,
through it so that you can get to the other side of that. Identify those root issues and be able to address them, even if it came from parents and guardians who aren't here anymore. Being able to tell yourself that you are not them, that your future, right, is not dictated by your past.
mm-hmm,
That's what you went through. That was something that you encountered. But
mm-hmm,
guess what? We survived that. And now we're looking to start thriving. A lot of us are stuck in survival mode. We're stuck pause, time
Yeah,
out.
give me a second. I'm gonna give you the whole screen because I feel a sermon coming on, and you said we stuck inside. No, I got to give you the whole screen on this because I can't. Yeah, okay. So those of you all who familiar with the Black church, you know that part where they start preaching, and then you hear the organ. Dan, I was like, I just heard the organ in my head. I'm gonna give you the whole screen. Go ahead, tell them. Hey, tell them about survival mode. Go ahead.
Way too often we are stuck in this place of survival, which is the same as that place of scarcity, right? We go from working a job, living paycheck to paycheck, right? Always being cash poor, maxing out credit. And then we think that starting a business is going to save us from that, when it technically doesn't. It just provides you another avenue to suffer from those same exact traumas. That's why we see people going from working jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, to working in their business and being cash poor, not being able to pay themselves, not being able to grow and scale and hire other people so that they can delegate. We find these business owners being stuck working in the business so hard that they can't come out and work on the business to prepare that business for growth. But again, that's a part of our mindset. That's a part of scarcity. That's a part of lack. That's a part of just surviving, doing just enough to get by. And as we can see with inflation rates, as we can see going through COVID, I mean, and monkeypox now, we don't know what that's going to turn into.
Yeah.
We cannot continue living like that. We have to address the issues at the root, right? And a part of addressing it at the root is being honest with yourself. Sometimes we don't want to be honest with ourselves and say that, hey, I am my problem. Hey, my thinking is my problem. Hey, my scarcity mindset, my stinking thinking is my problem. You got to be honest with yourself. Once you're able to address those things, your mindset, your money mindset, your that financial acumen that you don't have, when you identify that, you're able to then start to pull in the right resources so that you can start learning what you need to learn to better manage your money. Once you really start managing your money properly, both personally and in business, because when you're a business owner, it is not one or the other. You have to do both simultaneously. It is this and that, right? Because your personal finances and business finances are almost like married entities, kind of, right? What one of them do definitely directly impacts the other. So once you learn how to properly manage your personal finances, properly manage your business finances, then you ultimately start to learn how to multiply that money. Now you actually are starting to see, right, the fruits of your labor. You're starting to allow your money to do work for you so that you can stop working so hard for your money. We trade so much time for money, and a lot of times it's not even worth it. We're exhausted, depleted, and still broke.
You ain't never lied about that. I see. I knew I needed to give you the whole screen. That gives me. I'm gonna chop that out. That's gonna be a standalone for our marketing right there. That's the truth right there. One of the things when you talk about the scarcity mindset is that I tell my clients all the time is like your job as an entrepreneur, the only thing that you can do and nobody else in your company can do is make decisions for your company. That means that your decision making is going to be what makes the company go left or right. And a lot of, as a business owner, your real job is to try to predict the future and get your business ahead of the future you predict. Sometimes you will be wrong. I know a bunch of people that were wrong a few nights ago on the Mega Millions numbers.
Yeah.
I saw this one lady said she had a whole series and calculated this, that, and an algorithm, and she still broke. And so, you are guessing, and that's okay. Yeah. But the more people that you have in your corner, your accountant, your lawyer, your insurance agent, your financial planner, like those that you can find at Kingdom Vision Consultings, they can help help give you more information so that your mind, you have more data, more analysis, more reflection, so that you can do that. You can make the decision. Now, I want to get your opinion on this. I have times where people come to me as clients, and what they want me to do is to make the decisions for their business. It is, hey, this is my option. What should I do? And what I tell them is like, hey. If you make $1 million, that is awesome for you. If you lose $1 million, that kind of sucks for you. I don't have to live with the consequences, so I don't feel comfortable making the decisions. I will tell you what I think. I will give you my best information, but
Yeah.
ultimately the decision has to be yours. I'll ride with you no matter what you do because you give me money to do so. So hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not my decision. Now, how do you feel about that? Do you do it differently or?
I do not make decisions for clients. I will give them additional options. I will, just kind of broaden their perspective a little bit, but ultimately that final decision is in their hands. I may give them this is what I would do if I were in this situation. But again, we all think differently. We all have different skill sets. We all have a different level of acumen. So no, I do not make those decisions for them. And I tell them that often.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to money, because people are quick to blame you. They're quick to say, "But you said."
Yeah, I get. So, the lawyer in me case, I was like, okay, I will send especially when it's about decision making, and I don't think they heard me well. It's like, per our conversation, it was great meeting with you. Wanted to just walk us through some of our conversation points that are in our takeaways and next steps.
Yeah.
Some of y'all know who y'all are. I gotta record all of our meetings because y'all be switching up on me. I gotta take notes and record because y'all got. See, I ain't gonna say you suspect. Y'all got Swiss cheese memories. I don't know what be falling out of your memory and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna say you nefarious. I'm gonna say you got some mental health, short-term memory. Maybe you smoke too much. I don't know what's happening with you, but I'm gonna record you because you change your mind too often. And you know who I'm talking about, and I am talking about you.
Swiss cheese memory.
Sorry,
That's a good one.
I have beef. I have beef out in the world, and I'm grilling, so I'm giving the smoke. Okay,
you giving it. You giving it.
Smoke. All right, sorry.
I feel it. I feel it for them.
That's gonna be a show note. I know that's gonna be a show note. That's gonna come up later.
That is gonna come up later for sure.
All right, so getting back on track. What does Kingdom Vision Consulting have coming up? What is happening? What is new on the horizon? What is going on?
We have a couple of events coming up. First of all, we are a keynote speaker for a financial wellness seminar on the 18th of this month with O'Hara Development Partners CDC. That is starting at 6:30. Okay. The link to register for that is bit.ly/ODP, all caps, FIN, FIN, webinars, WENARS. Register for that event. Every month, we bring some great information. Chase is our key sponsor. So typically they do most of our financial presentations, but every now and then we have people in-house, such as myself, who will come in and speak to our audience. We're going to talk about what does that reset look like for you, right? Especially as we're technically in that mid-year-ish space before we head into Q4 to end the year, doing that check-in, right? Making sure that we are on target. And if we're not, how can we pivot? So it'll be some really good information there. We also are hosting a part 2 of Basic Business Finances in partnership with Maryland Capital Enterprises. That link is on my website for you to register. I'll also drop my website link down here for you so that you guys can go there. We have a great partnership with MCE, Maryland Capital Enterprises, and their Women's Business Center out in Salisbury, but they do a lot of work here in Baltimore. This will be our second session hosting within the last 2 months, but typically we host about 2 to 3, sometimes 4 sessions a year with them, and just bringing this information to business owners within their network. If you guys are not familiar, MCE is one of Maryland's CDFIs, Community Development Financial Institutions, and they provide capital to business owners who typically cannot get traditional capital through banking. Granted, you do not have to have bad credit to work with them. We still have some people who have stellar credit who works with the organization just because they want the information from a local organization. But also, too, they provide you with what we call technical assistance. So being able to help you with your business business plan, to be able to help you with your projections, making sure that you have a solid understanding of where you are in business, but also where you are going. I have the pleasure of serving on their Baltimore Business Loan Committee. So what that means is for the loans that we have from small business owners coming through the city of Baltimore, I sit on that loan committee, right? So we are reviewing these loans. We are getting to understand that client's stories and making a decision that will be, of course, good for us, essentially to not lose money, but also that will provide sometimes second chances, sometimes the only chance for a business owner who don't have those strategic banking relationships. For people who don't know, we have had the honor of co-hosting and creating the Wealthy Woman Financial Transformation Program in partnership with EWI, Empowered Women International of LEDC, another CDFI, in conjunction with EWOC, Enterprising Women of Color, with WAKIF, Washington Area Capital Investment Fund. They are another CDFI. Both organizations are technically based out of the DC area, but they do serve Maryland as well and Northern Virginia. These two CDFIs, similar to MCE, they provide capital to those business owners. They also provide, MCE does too, they also provide credit builder loans to you, right? So if you know that your credit is an issue and you want a small chance, a loan that can kind of help you build that credit, they will also offer those, and it reports to your personal credit report, which is great for you.
Wow, that's great.
And again, all three organizations offer technical assistance. It's so important to have these alternative organizations in your back pocket, just because you never know what need your business may have within, the next couple of years. But you also just want to be able to shake certain hands, be able to have certain conversations with people that you probably typically would not encounter. Our workshop with MCE starts at noon on August the 24th. And our workshop with O'Hara Development Partners is August 18th at 6:30 p.m. Okay, August 18th, 6:30 p.m. August 24th at noon. I also have a really big announcement, right? God is just so good. So many great things are happening. I, in partnership with Miss Casey Richardson, we are launching a brand new initiative. We are both two Black bankers turned entrepreneurs. I worked on the retail side of banking, and my partner Casey works on the corporate side of banking, structuring $1 million loans for large tech companies, formerly at Bank of America. It's so crazy how the world works. We both transitioned for our jobs in the same month, in the same year, on two different sides of the world, and did not know each other. She was in California at the time. Now she's in Nairobi, Kenya, doing her thing there. And in partnership, we are creating a new company, this new entity, where we will be engineering a new realm of capital access and trade infrastructure specifically for Black women using Web3. We are super excited. Listen, Web3, of course, is a big conversation, and we want to make sure that our people do not get left behind, but especially Black women in business, because when you empower Black women, you empower families, you empower communities, because we know that, the future is female, but now is also female, so especially Black women. We have a podcast that we have just launched that is called Digital Black Wall Street. You can go search our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google. You can also follow us on Instagram at Digital Black Wall Street, Twitter at Digital Black WS, and on TikTok, Digital Black WS. We're super excited right now. I can't give too much information. Just know that we are changing the game in the Web 3.0 space. We are working with some really awesome partners, attorneys, to make sure that we are setting up our foundation properly to really take this thing to the next level. We will have some curriculum, some courses and workshops that will be coming up soon, teaching you how to do business in the metaverse, how to market your business in the metaverse, right? Talking about how to monetize your presence in the metaverse. So much juicy goodness, right? But we want to make sure that we provide an alternative way to access capital for Black women using the metaverse structure. So super excited. This is such a huge moment for us because we are both very confident that we are building a $1 billion brand that is really going to change the game for Black people in business and just how we look at, honestly, Web3 anyway. A number of us, we get left behind. We get left behind when things as such comes into play because we don't have access to the information. But thank you to people like Bianca Jackson of Brick Rose Exchange, who is huge in speaking about the metaverse, right?
Absolutely.
She's teaching children, she's teaching Black businesses how to tap in and to tap in now. Do not wait, okay? Do not wait until you've missed the ball. Listen, I was just telling Casey earlier in our meeting, when things are starting to shift, when prices are going up in certain areas, right? Of course, inflation is a thing regardless, but when it comes specifically to Web3, a lot of people are using the VR headsets now, the Quest 2 Oculus, and they have gone up an extra $100, right? So get in while you can. The good thing is that you do not necessarily need a VR headset to tap in. You can use your cell phone. There are apps that you can use. You can also use computers, okay? Your laptop, your digital tablet, whatever it is that you use to surf the web. You can also use them to activate your Web3 presence. Create your avatar and really just dive in. So please, please, please stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. We got some good stuff coming your way.
Oh, yeah, I told y'all. See, I told y'all we was going to get some special stuff. Oh, thank you for that exclusive release here. I am really grateful for it. So and it is a very good place to do it because I'm not sure if you know, the Black USA News Morning Show was the first Black media show streamed, or first Black owned media show streamed in the metaverse.
That is amazing. I did not know that, but that is super, super awesome. And listen, this is the first time that I have dropped this information publicly out loud. So I'm super honored, super excited, for the partnership. I'm sure we're going to be able to make room for you guys in our new world.
I am looking forward to it. And by the way, what I want to make sure that we do is, again, you know how I am. We shout people out here because it's difficult enough to find people who are doing some big things. So talk about the CDFIs, and I'll shout out Bianca. Big up to Bianca Jackson of Brick Rose Exchange. Y'all saw her on the show before, and if you didn't, shame on you. Go look at the episode, damn it. Go look at it.
She's a Pulitzer Prize winner. And she won this award before it became a super hot topic within the last couple of years. She won this award back in, I believe, like 2018. Most of us weren't even talking about it. Most of us didn't even know about it then. So she's really awesome. She actually assisted myself and O'Hara Development Partners in hosting our housing counseling program, our seminar in the metaverse earlier this year. So tap in, tap in, tap in.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, you mentioned MCE, LC, LEDC, just because, again, there's some good organizations out there. And I think we would be remiss if we didn't just take a moment and just let people know who and any good people, any people you want to shout out in those organizations too.
Absolutely. So started with MCE because they have been like such a great partner of mine. I started partnering with them originally while I was at the bank back in 2018 at Wells Fargo as a business specialist. And that relationship really just grew. I joined their Baltimore City Loan Committee. I've been on the board for now, 4 years at this point. And I've seen them just do so much great work in our communities, being able to approve loans for clients who typically would not get your traditional approvals. Your banking institution just will not. But we're able to provide that dream, that sometimes once in a lifetime opportunity for those clients. We have a lot of free online workshops. I am one of the presenters, one of the subject matter experts that present with them through their Women's Business Center. We also have, of course, the capital that you need. Most CDFIs in general are nonprofit organizations, right? So these nonprofit organizations are typically funded by your larger banks and other foundations who might not give the capital to people who don't have great credit, but they will give it to the CDFIs to do so, right? Because again, CDFIs are nonprofits, which I mean, for a for-profit company, you know what that does for Texas, right?
Yeah.
Shout out definitely to Nick Rudolph, to Donna Langley, who's on the MCE team. They are both business advisors there. But I also have to shout out to the executive director of the WBC with MCE, Miss Lisa. She has been totally awesome. MCE actually nominated me for the award that my firm won this year, the Financial Services Champion Award, on behalf of the SBA in the state of Maryland. We received that elite honor in June of this year. Super excited, super blessed for the opportunity. And so many other things came from that. We have an article coming out soon in the magazine associated with the Governor's Office of Small Minority and Women-Owned Business. So super thankful to MCE just for believing in me, to their executive director of the entire organization, Maurice Ames. As soon as I went independent in my company, Maurice and MCE were the first organization to give me a contract to work with their clients. So I'm eternally blessed. I'm taking them with me wherever I go. Shout out to EWI, specifically Miss Nicole Andani. She is the program director. She is super awesome. Nicole and I, when it comes to the Wealthy Woman Financial Transformation Program, we came up with this idea at the end of last year, and it was supposed to be just a book club. Literally just a book club to help women really get engaged with books about wealth for women. This idea literally morphed into an entire financial transformation program for women that we're currently serving 32 women in the DC area, right? Taking them through money mindset, right? I recently had a licensed therapist talk about fears, how your fears show up, how they impact how you goal set within your business, how they impact how you move within the financial world, right? We're also discussing real money information, how to properly budget, how to really build your credit, how to do this also as an entrepreneur where your revenues and cash flows might not always be there. We're also going to be hosting a few other awesome panelists, women in business, to talk about their entrepreneurship journeys, but also retirement planning. This program is so special to us because there were so many women who were thirsty for something like this. When we initially dropped that we were launching, we had over 100 inquiries, which also resulted to over 90 completed applications. We only have 40 spots for women. When I tell you that the financial information is needed, it is wanted and desired. It is. Most people think that people don't want it. They do. They just need it from the right place, from the right person, with the right heart that they can trust, right? And we've been able to garner that community with our women. Also want to shout out EWOC of Wakeif, Empowering Women of Color. Wakeif, their CEO, Mr. Harold Pettigrew, super awesome guy. I met him a couple of years when I was in the banking industry, and just listen, the power of community and networking and maintaining relationships. These contracts would not have been possible for me without maintaining these relationships, right? But also leading with my heart, right? To serve the people. All three of these organizations are super phenomenal. They all have some type of transformation, something when it comes to business. EWI, they have their ETS program, their entrepreneurial training program, which is a 3-month training program where they help you write a business plan. They have financial courses for you. EWOC has what they call Ascension, and that may be incorrect. I know their Phoenix cohort just finished a year and a half ago. They just launched that program to take women through an entrepreneurial training program. It's so much information out there. When you have your hands in these CDFIs, you get access. You just gain so much access. So any business owner, I recommend you, especially if you're in the Baltimore area, the DMV area, to tap into all three of those organizations. Okay, you have the Latino Economic Development Center, Maryland Capital Enterprises, and the Washington Area Capital Investment Fund. Of excuse me, I'm sorry. Of course, we cannot leave out Baltimore Community Lending, BCL.
Oh, yeah.
They also have a huge presence in the Baltimore area. I believe they have just opened up their books to serve the surrounding counties around Baltimore City.
Oh,
My
good,
girl
good.
Angela is there. My guy Don Cutright is there. Listen, they're doing some great work, and the thing is, they want you. So even sometimes before you go to your big bank, go to one of these nonprofits who gonna really help you and who's not gonna scrutinize you because of your credit score.
They're designed to help people like you.
Correct.
And one of the other things that you've made reference to a few times is kind of some of the stigma associated that we even put on our own selves about our financial situations.
Yep.
Sometimes I've had, it's so funny, I've had this happen many times where when I used to work at the bank or when I'm helping people prepare for their loan package, it's like, all right, come on, let's pull your credit. Oh man. And we pull, it's like, oh, this isn't bad. Oh, word? And so, and again,
Yeah.
I don't believe in people going out and just using credit all willy-nilly. Honestly, there are times, most times, especially in the Black community, we invest in our feelings, and so we don't know how, and we get the returns, because
Yeah.
I've been on a couple trips where I'm like, hell yeah, but guess what, that financial return isn't there, and we don't get taught to think about, okay, how much am I spending to feel good, which not knocking it, because you look at my bank account, you can tell I feel real good most times. So, but I'm not knocking it, but I'm saying, but I make those choices. I know, because I see that it is all me. I don't become a different person when I put on a tie and log on to my official business email. I am still William. All of my failings and all of my strengths, they come with me. And like Lyndsae said earlier, if you are not comfortable with the truth about yourself, then what are you actually doing?
Yep.
And one of the things that the CDFIs and people like Lyndsae and myself is that we have not just seen it, we've been through it to the extent that you're not surprising us.
That's right.
I've had a few clients that's like, look, I don't really know, because I'm a train wreck. I don't know if you could help me. I was like, I have run trains off
This
the
is what
rails,
we do.
pick them back up with a screwdriver, put them back together and put it on, and have
Yeah.
done the work. And so I understand, especially for those of us who understand how the systems take race into consideration without trying to take race into consideration.
Yeah.
And one of the challenges is, as we're having these conversations, if we don't shift to the systemic portions of the conversation, we will not be able to challenge how they've taken racism and white
That's right.
supremacy and institutionalized it into the system.
That's right.
So
That's
that we
right.
don't have to say race anymore, we say credit score. We don't have to say race anymore, we say zip code. Those things have become the synonyms for them. But if we keep focusing, and racism doesn't really matter as it did before, because racism, that anchor was this hate. It has morphed into it, not morphed. It has been revealed for what it always was, because you can't keep the hate up too long. It is white supremacy. It is making sure that cis het white men, well, not even het, cis het presenting. How about that?
That's right.
Cis het presenting white men stay in control of everything.
That's right.
And we need to address it. And the CDFIs, and working with people who understand the needs in the community, and not just trying to come in and have a commercial relationship with the community to profit off of the community, but help build the community. And making sure that we remember, as we say here often, all skin folk and kinfolk.
That's real. That is real. That is real.
A couple things I just needed to say, get off my chest real quick, because we can't. Because I really do appreciate the opportunity to have very meaningful conversations. And big up to Donnie Glover for having this platform. I know, he gets some
That's right.
he gets some emails and some comments every once in a while, but okay, but he's still with it.
That's
And,
right.
and you could give send
Right.
Donnie the emails if you want to. Donnie does not just enjoy the smoke. I don't know if he could breathe without it. So you can go ahead and fuck with him if you want to. But it is important that we have these very meaningful
Yeah.
and deliberate conversations and really call out people who are supporting the disinvested community. And I specifically mean Black communities,
Yeah.
but all of the disinvested communities, because what we recognize, the reason that rural whites and poor whites are not doing as well is because
Yeah.
they've been able to look at Black people as, at least as, we're not them, as opposed
Yeah.
to recognizing, yeah, you are, you just look different. You still broke, they
Yes.
just give you more credit. Ha ha.
Yep.
And so I think it's really important for us to call these things out. And again, I appreciate the work that you do to make sure
Thank
we
you.
raise the fundamental understanding of what money is and how it all works
Yeah.
in our community. Like that's some good stuff. I appreciate
I said that this is my ministry. This is what I was meant to do. I was never your traditional banker. I
you.
was never a salesman. That was never my MO. My MO has always consistently been educating the clients. One, so that they can learn how to do this stuff on their own. Right. At some point, you want to get to a level in your financial acumen where you can make strategic decisions on
Yep.
your own, when you know the know-how, where you can utilize credit as a tool to help you build your enterprises, right? Where
Hmm.
you can
Hmm.
start planning retirement for yourself, but also start planning investments for your children, right? We talk a lot about generational wealth, but we got to start with ourselves first. If we're not giving ourselves anything, if we're not teaching ourselves, there's no way that we can develop something to pass down to our children or grandchildren.
So it's so funny that you mentioned generational wealth. See, y'all people are disrespectful. Y'all always wait till we get to the end, and then y'all be like, "Oh, whole new topic." So as because one of the things that I've had to talk to
Yeah.
people about recently, a couple of my clients, that we've been talking about breaking generational curses, and one
Yeah.
and especially in the financial space, and I've been helping them understand that they have done that. But
Yeah.
what people tend not to realize is that generational wealth is something to work for. If you break the generational curse of poverty, you might be the generation just figuring what the
That's
fuck is
right.
up.
That's right.
Your job in the generational line is to break the curse,
That's right.
but it still needs to be cleaned up. It's not bewitched where you just go pinky, pinky, pinky. Okay, wait. You might not know that. What's the witch? What's the witch y'all know? What's the witch you know? Because I know we on different generations right through here now. So what's the witch you know?
Who's Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Okay, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah, you can't just magic and then it goes all the way where you need it to be. It needs to be cleaned up. It's like
Yeah.
the curse is like a broken pipe. And you
Yeah.
can stop the water. Congratulations, you turned off the water. You stopped the flooding. But
Yeah.
now this shit still needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
So even though you are developing and you understand generational wealth, make sure you understand that it's generational. You might be the seed. You
Yeah.
may never eat from the tree. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. All right. I'm gonna calm down.
Ooh.
Whew, okay. All right. Woo. We was about to go over time. We was about to really
Seed
go over
time
time.
harvest. Seed time harvest. Somebody has to plant the seed.
No, somebody has to be the seed.
Be the even better.
Because this is about, because again, you are trying to grow.
Even
You are
better.
connected to a weed, and you have excised it. You have spliced it.
Yes.
You have replanted, but you have to grow. You need to make sure that you're in fertile ground. Because sometimes what was wrong was that you were in toxic areas where you were trying to grow this
Mm,
beautiful plant, and now you can move it, but it still needs to heal
yeah.
from the damage.
That's right.
And the
That's right. That's right.
expectation that because you have broken this curse, it is now magically broken. This ain't a Disney movie. Your
That's
writers
right.
don't get paid that much.
That's right.
You
That's
got to
right.
do the work.
You should have put yourself on full screen for that.
I was trying, yeah. So you realize we're gonna have to have this conversation, and you gotta come back, right? You
Part
gotta come
two, of
back, right?
course, of course, of course. I'm a regular at this point.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it because again, and I am so grateful for not just you showing up on the show and increasing my ratings and stuff, but also the work that you do. Because
Yes,
again, I
thank
have
you.
seen the people who have
Thank
benefited
you.
from your expertise, your tutelage, and you are.
I
And actually,
appreciate
you are
you.
everything that I say you are. Probably some more stuff I don't even know about, but yeah, I know you at least everything I say you are.
Thank you. I'm honored, always humble. I always tell people it's not me, right? It's the God working through me. So I'm just a vessel. Just the vessel.
So, like I told my mama, sometimes the answer is the correct answer is thank you, because guess what? God chose you. Then that means everything else I said was true, and you ain't need to don't. Okay, so you about to get me on that humility, because you need to let your light shine so people can be like, hell yeah, I'm great too. Because on this show we brag about every damn thing. I am one of the smartest people that most people will ever meet, and I got test results.
You are.
So we need to. So and whether you are ordained, consecrated, or you just lucky, it's you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, be walking out here that damn self-esteem shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
all
sir.
right, thank you so much, Lyndsae. I am looking forward to the next time you come through. All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Yo, I tell y'all, I know dope people, and she is one of the dopest. Not just because she's cool, not just because she's smart, not just because she does the damn thing, but she really does put her heart and soul into making sure that the community has the resources it needs. And one of the things I appreciate about her, she still does it in a way that holds these Bamas accountable for writing her check. Because a lot of times in our communities, you have people. I'm about to do a whole other show. We had like 30 seconds. I'm starting the whole damn topic. That's I'm disrespectful. That's the thing. I'm disrespectful. I don't even know what I'm doing, because I'm sitting here talking about, I gotta go. We run out of time, and then I just start talking about everything and start talking about more stuff because I think it's important. But we will talk about this later. But either way, we'll be black tomorrow.
Welcome to BlackUSA.news.